guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing another foundation first impressions. I personally love trying out and testing new foundations. It's one of my favorite type of makeup to buy and try out. So when I saw that Anastasia came out with a foundation, I knew I had to try it because I typically love Anastasia Beverly Hills products, and I do believe this is the first foundation that they've ever come out with. So I'm really excited to see what my thoughts are on it. I've heard some great things about this and also some not so great things, so I am really excited to give it a try myself and see what my opinions and thoughts are on it. So if you guys are interested in seeing me test this out for the first time, then just keep watching. Alright, so this is what the product looks like outside of the black box that it comes in. I do really like the packaging. I think that it is very sleek. I like the stick. I'm really excited to see how this works. I got it in shade Golden. I did order this online though from Sephora, so I'm not sure because I couldn't actually go in the store and swatch it, so not sure if it's gonna match me. I swatched it on my hand in my haul and it looked like it was a little dark, so we'll see. It was only $25 at Sephora, which I actually thought was pretty inexpensive, especially for an Anastasia product and a foundation no less. Typically foundations from high-end brands that are sold at Sephora are like $40, $30 at the very least, so $25 was pretty cheap for a high-end foundation, and Anastasia's products typically aren't inexpensive either. So on Sephora's website right now, it looks like it comes in 23 different shades, and it describes it as a medium to full coverage buildable foundation that has a natural matte finish. Although I have heard that it's not really full coverage, so I don't know, I guess we'll definitely see that, but on the Sephora's website it does say that it's medium to full buildable coverage and that it has a natural matte finish. So we're gonna put that to the test, and I do like that it does have 23 different shades, and I believe she came out with highlight and contour shades as well that are not involved in those 23 foundation shades. So there's a lot of shades. Hopefully there will be a shade for everybody. I don't really know how many stripes to do. I'm gonna just do how many I do with the Hourglass, which I typically do 4, I think, on my cheeks, like 2 big ones, 2 little ones. So that is what I'm gonna do. Okay, I can already tell this is too dark. Oh my god, you guys. The struggles of ordering foundation online. I'm going to attempt to blend this out with my Beauty Blender. I have already dampened it. If it doesn't work, I do have a flat top kabuki here too. But this is always the way that I like to blend my foundations out, but I feel like with stick foundation, it might not always be the best. So we're just gonna try and blend it out. Alright, I mean, it doesn't blend out bad with the Beauty Blender, but it's definitely not looking like it's full coverage. That's for sure. Maybe I'll try on the other side of my face and blend it out with the kabuki to see if that gives us some more coverage. Because like you guys can see, like I have redness in my cheeks. I hope you can see underneath these lights, but I can see it. Like I have redness in my cheeks and you could still totally see it. Like it didn't cover it up at all. Alright, I'm going to go in on the other side and I'm going to use a kabuki and see if that makes a difference in the coverage. This one is from Tarte. Just kind of blend it out. It feels kind of dry on the skin as well. Like it's not... Oof. Alright. I am not loving this, I'll be honest with you guys. I honestly think I like the way the Beauty Blender blends it out better than the kabuki, so I'm going to just keep going in with the Beauty Blender. I definitely need to add more though. I feel like I'm just like putting this all over my face now because it's not really giving me good coverage. Because what I like about the Hourglass one is it really is full coverage. This one though, I don't know if I would say it's full coverage. The color is definitely off as well. It's not a perfect match for me, so I will probably have to exchange it for a different color, but I will wear it throughout the day. It's not like that terrible that I can't go in public. We'll try and make it better with concealer and powder. But this is not for like the shade. I'm just gonna wear it to see, you know, how the actual foundation holds up. All right, I mean, now that I added a lot more, I feel like it does look better. It's still, I wouldn't even call it full coverage, but it is like medium coverage. But I mean, I had to put a lot of that in the center of my face and blend it out, which I feel like if you're gonna use that much every day, might as well just use a foundation that's actually full coverage. I don't know. Let's do it on our forehead and see how it works. I just feel like I'm using so much product, but like that's the only way that it kind of looks good. And yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's not that easy to blend out. Like, I feel like if you have oily skin, you might actually really like this because it kind of gives like, I don't know, it's kind of like dry on the skin because it is supposed to be a matte finish. So I mean, I did expect it to be a little bit dry, but if you have dry skin, I'm not sure how much you'll love it because it's not that easy to blend out. I feel like I'm kind of like tugging at my skin with the Beauty Blender to try and blend this. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know if it's my skin's fault, like my skin is just too dry to really wear a foundation like this, and it's not the foundation's fault, or the foundation is like super drying. I don't really know, because I've worn like matte foundations a lot, and I don't typically have like an issue like this, but I just feel like this looks really kind of dry on my skin, especially my forehead area. It looks super dry. All right, you guys, so this is what it looks like once it's all blended out. Like I said, I did have to use a lot of product to even get it to what I would call medium coverage. I mean, you can still see some redness that I have in my skin and around my nose. I'm definitely gonna have to go in with concealer, so I wouldn't call it full coverage, and I had to use a lot of product. So far, I have to be honest, I'm not really that impressed with it, but it could change throughout the day. Sometimes I like foundations better as I wear them throughout the day, and they kind of melt in with my skin, so we'll see. I'm not gonna, write it off and go to Sephora right now and return it, just because I feel like Anastasia's products always impress me, so I'm hoping that as the day goes on, I'll be like, wow, this is a really long-lasting foundation or something like that, and end up liking it, but as of right now, I don't know, I'm really not impressed with it, but like I said, I will keep you guys updated, so I will check in with you later tonight and give you guys my final thoughts after I wear it throughout the whole day. It is 10:47 right now, so I'll check in with you guys probably around 8 or 9 o'clock and let you know my full thoughts after I wore it for the full day. So see you guys soon. Alrighty, you guys, so I am back with my final check-in. It is now 9:27 p.m. I will say that throughout the day, I did start to like this foundation a little bit more than when I initially applied it. Once it kind of meshed and settled on my skin and I used my concealer and my powder and everything else, I feel like it doesn't look terrible on my skin, where when I first applied it, I was kind of like, oh my god, this doesn't even look good, where throughout the day, I did start to like it a bit more. I will say that I do think the lasting power on this foundation is very good, because I think my face now looks pretty similar to when I first applied it. It really hasn't worn off in many areas, so I would say that the lasting power was good. I've had this foundation on for almost 12 hours now. I was out and doing a bunch of errands, and I went to the gym and was sweating, so it did last pretty well, and I will give it an A+ as far as long wearing ability. As far as the coverage goes, I really don't think this should be marketed as a full coverage foundation unless you were going to use the entire tube on your face. I don't see how this would be full coverage. As you guys saw when I applied a lot of this foundation, and I would still only consider it to be medium coverage. I did use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer underneath my eyes and down my nose and around my nose area, just because that is a super full coverage concealer, because I didn't find that I was getting enough coverage from the foundation. So I definitely would consider it more buildable to medium coverage, if anything. Medium if you use a ton of product like I did, more of a light coverage if you just use, a few swipes. I didn't really find that it settled into any fine lines. It didn't really settle into my smile lines any more than a typical foundation would, so I did like that aspect of it. My biggest issue with this foundation is how drying it feels on the skin. You guys know that I have very dry skin, but I can easily wear matte foundations. I wear matte foundations all the time. It's one of my favorite finishes of foundation, so I don't think it's just that this is a matte finish foundation. I think the formula in and of itself is just very drying on the skin. So for me, personally, if you have dry skin, I would look the other way. I would find a different product. I really don't think that you're gonna like this, and I wouldn't suggest it to you. But with that being said, if you have oily skin, especially very oily skin, you might love this product, because you could have a completely different experience from me, because like I said, the thing that I really liked the least was how drying it was on my already dry skin. So if you have oily skin and you're looking for something to really control that oil, this might be like a holy grail foundation. I can't speak to it 100% because I don't have oily skin, but I would suggest finding another beauty blogger, someone you know that might have oily skin, and kind of see their thoughts on this. I know that I watched a video from Casey Holmes, who has very oily skin, who loved it. So I don't want to say that don't buy it, because if you have oily skin, you might really like this. But if you have dry skin, I would definitely look for a different foundation. With that being said though, if you're looking for a full coverage foundation, again, look the other way. This is not a full coverage foundation. I really don't know why they marketed it as one. It's definitely more buildable to medium coverage at best. It's not full coverage. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have a nice finish to it. Doesn't mean that it's not a nice foundation. I just don't see it as full coverage whatsoever at all, unless you're gonna use like the entire tube on your face, which, why would you do that? I guess overall I was just really let down by this foundation because as a cosmetics company, I really like Anastasia. I stand behind a lot of her products. I use them in a ton of my tutorials. I've done rave reviews on some of her products on my channel, and this is actually the first product from Anastasia that I don't love. So I was let down by it. I really had super high hopes. I was really excited when I heard they were coming out with a foundation, but this one was just definitely not for me and kind of not up to the standards of other Anastasia products that I have tried. That being said, if they do come out with another foundation in the future, I will definitely give it a try because I still do love the company. This foundation was just a flop for me personally with my dry skin, but like I said, it could very well work for you if you have oily skin. So yeah, those are kind of all of my thoughts on the foundation. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and also click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my future uploads, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye!